The 2017 Loretta Lynn's Remastered Series is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and Lucas Oil.
Is going to be tough to beat, along with the number 33 of Derek Drake. Pierce Brown, number 63, is going to be out front. Carter Halpane will be out front. But we only got room for one of them, and we only got room for one guy to get the whole shot. It's going to be a KTM rider, but no, it's a Honda rider. The number 41 of Joe Shimoda grabs the whole shot, but he's already given up the ghost. Man, they are all jockeying for it. Looks like Carter Halpane there. Blake Ashley credited with the whole shot on that Yamaha, and Joe Shimoda has something to say about that. Who knows, man? It's going to be Pierce Brown. It's going to be Garrett Marchbanks. There's a whole ton of guys. The absolute deepest class you will see all week long. Kawasaki rider railing around the outside. Jumping into the mix is that Lance Kovish out of New Florence, Missouri on the Kawasaki. And you'll pick up Pierce Brown on the number 63 KTM. The 51, though, out in the mix there on that Kawasaki. Seth Hammaker, another Team Green rider. So Hammaker going at it on the number 51 Kawasaki. Blake Ashley on the number 95 Yamaha in the number 2 spot. Joe Shimoda in third. Pierce Brown is fourth. What has Brown done for you? Well, he's about to deliver a podium finish. He's got to stay up. Oh, a little bit of a problem. That has been the biggest complaint you could have against Pierce Brown, is keeping it on 2 wheels. That guy's on 2 wheels. He's hard to beat, along with Garrett Marchbanks. Both those kids have wins in them. Where is Derek Drake? We're looking for him. Big ruts now starting to form as we watch the opening stages, and the riders making their way to the center portion of the racetrack over that Kawasaki. Step up into the big sweeper, the Thor sweeper. And who's going to get credit for this first lap led? It's going to be Seth Hammaker. Ryan Holiday picks up Seth Hammaker and making that choice look pretty good now, huh?
No doubt about that. And obviously, as we expected, this is going to be the barn burner we were looking for. Joe Shimoda there in the number 2 spot. Pierce Brown, there's the name we were looking for. Zane Merritt, another name we expected up front. Blake Ashley. Carter Halpane back in the number 6 spot. He's got some ground to make up. Derek Drake is 7th. Alex Ingalls in 8th. Grant Harlan in 9th. And Ayrton Ward rounds out your top 10 right now. You've got some big names a little further back, though. You look to Lance Kobush. He's 13th. Garrett Marchbanks all the way back in 15th.
Yep. And Carson Brown. So all the Team Green riders, Carson Brown, Garrett Marchbanks, Lance Kobush, Seth Hammaker. They got like 5 guys, like an all-star cast of Team Green riders. And they're all going to have to run after the guy that I wouldn't have expected to lead this thing early up, Seth Hammaker, doing it. And he is cruising. He's pulling away from Joe Shimoda and Pierce Brown. And like we talked about, these first motos are all determined by the gate positions, by the spoons, so kind of luck of the draw there. But as these motos work their way through motos 2 and 3, you'll see the guys kind of that are supposed to be up front stay up front.
Well, and obviously they get a little better gate choices, but even then sometimes, you know, that doesn't necessarily work out to be the case. But it's certainly a lot better for these guys to get as great and strong a choice as possible. Just watching right now.
Man, look, a lot of KTMs there with Pierce Brown and Merritt.
Yeah, there is.
Look at that side by side. Merritt had a good ride this morning, Rodney.
Yeah, he did. He jumped off the gate, right out of the gate off that first race this morning. And man, I mean, he did not look back from the time that gate dropped. That 450B limited class was certainly an exciting one and an exciting way to open up the day. But here we go right now with this one. Check it out. Zane Merritt is working on Pierce Brown for that 3rd place position right now. Joe Shimoda is in amongst this mix as well. I don't think this one's over yet. We got a while to go before this 250B class is going to be settled.
Yeah, there's Shimoda, there's Pierce Brown. Then you have Merritt on the 29 machine, and it looks like Derek Drake has gotten around him. Drake is ready to deliver. He was not his normal self at Mammoth, and now Derek trying to right all the wrongs up on the mountain.
Well, I tell you, those guys out front, once they get that free racetrack, we're seeing those 155s, 156s here, 157.9 to open things up as the track is really starting to dial in. Shimoda, a 2-minute point.
Hang on. Shimoda both the feet off the pegs coming out of that mechanics area, and somebody is coming, and it's Pierce Brown, Derek Drake, and Carter Halpane. You'll see the blue Yamaha peeking in. There he is with the yellow gear. He will be towards the front here in a little bit.
Well, through the Red Bull Para-style, as we like to call it, down the short chutes and into the 10 Commandments, we go through that bold turn and driving down in through the Comedic 10 Commandments. We have got things starting to stretch out a little bit now.
Yeah, there's Shimoda on the Factory Connection Honda. He's got Pierce Brown, and now Derek Drake is really moving. He has passed a couple of riders here and has left Carter Halpane behind him. There's Shimoda, then Pierce Brown, followed by Derek Drake. So the Orange Brigade KTM team now looking to make some moves there. Man,
wow.
A little miscue actually turned into a nice little move there for Pierce Brown. Avoided all the ruts, shot right across him, made it look like he meant to. Whoa! Almost comes into contact with his teammates side by side. And Derek Drake wasting no time trying to get around Pierce Brown as they all kind of cross their fingers, hoping they don't take each other out.
Well, I tell you, coming into this one, every one of them wants to be the best. They think and feel they are the best, and they're racing like they're the best out here right now as well. And Pierce Brown under all kinds of pressure. Joe Shimoda, that actually might lighten things up for him in that number 2 spot.
And all the while, how about it for Seth Hamaker? He is doing work and quietly and just sitting back there in 9th. Garrett Marchbanks unable to really make any headway. He's still in 9th, so I expect him to pick up a pass or two a little bit quicker than he has. So got to be careful. There's Pierce Brown with another mistake. We talked about that early in the moto. His only deficiency is some of the bigger mistakes. Sometimes he'll fall on the ground along with Garrett Marchbanks.
Well, we'll see if he's able to keep the nose.
Look who's coming.
Yep, there he is.
Carter Halpane on the blue Yamaha, the electric yellow gear. The MTF full-time student down there is coming. That's all your 4 riders there. Seth Hamaker out of the picture. He's leading this thing. Man, that mechanics turn is tricky. It's so deep just past that mechanics area. You almost lose the front end there.
Quite a challenging track this year. 7.7 second gap. Seth Hamaker right now the only rider under the 2-minute mark. Everyone else is 2:01 and above, except for Garrett Marchbanks. He just turned a 1:59, so he's starting to pick things up a little bit.
And he's doing that in traffic. Seth Hamaker has the track to himself. Who do we lose there? It looks like Pierce Brown.
Yep,
he goes down.
All those mistakes, they added up, and this one cost him.
So Zane Merrick, our early 450B winner, he is back to the number 6 spot. As we'll kind of key in on Derek Drake at the number 33 and Carter Halpane, because I think they're going to push up and pass Joe Shimoda. Can they get up to Seth Hamaker? If Hamaker can lay out these 158s for about 2 or 3 more laps, then he will be in a position to kind of chill that second half of the moto.
Yeah, his fastest lap was a 157.9, so he's staying very consistent right now with those times. All of a sudden, second place becomes a hot seat once again, as now Derek Drake is reeling in the 47 of Joe Shimoda.
He is on it right now. Shimoda covers that inside line. Up and over the big Ray Butts mountain. That's actually Ray Butts lane. They covered him up with dirt. Saving dirt. Ray Butts from Rocky Mountain ATV MC laid down. They covered dirt, ran the tractors over him, and he's actually that jump. He is a jump.
That man is truly dedicated, to this great sport. And I'll tell you what,
Pierce Brown down again.
Wow, and Shimoda still under pressure here as we moto through this 4th lap now. Seth Hamaker's checking in, still under the 2-minute mark. Let's see what's going on with Shimoda and Brown as their Shimoda and Drake as they're side by side.
That's a good race there, up and over the Tunnel of Love. Shimoda, and he is just flat eating some roost there.
Derek Drake, a 159.6. He's now less than half a second behind the billboard, and now around the mechanics area and into the Bell Helmets Moto Forest.
I'm telling you what, he better have about 700 tear-offs because he has been camped out behind that Honda for about 4 laps now. Joe Shimoda and Carter Halpane coming into that picture on his Yamaha. Derek Drake, though, chooses those different lines probably for no other reason not to sit behind that motorcycle and get roosted. Here we go. Down the freeway. It is not smooth. That thing started off buttery smooth, and it is just brutal. Into the 10 Commandments now. Shimoda, he'll triple in. Derek will triple. He'll bounce. He goes out of rhythm, just like Rodney on the dance floor there. And there's Carter Halpane as well, right behind him, trying to get up there and play. But Seth Hamaker, free track, man, he is just picking all the right lines. He's cruising. Well, 9 seconds out front, Rodney.
I'm surely impressed by Seth Hamaker. I mean, the consistency that he's laying down out here is second to none in this moto, there's no doubt. And quite the nice surprise as well, but I'm sure that he's not feeling so much of a surprise. This is right where he wanted to be, right where he worked hard to be. But, you know, some of the other surprises for me is the battling that we're seeing going on behind. Joe Shimoda really picking things up this year. Derek Drake, Carter Halpane we expected, and Zane Merritt's another rider that, you know, he's been kind of on the verge the last couple of years, but finally breaks through, it looks like.
Absolutely. Garrett Marchbanks, you said it. He is now making some passes. He's up to the number 6 spot. Lance Kovish kind of struggling back there in 13. Pierce Brown having some problems. He was an early race contender, and he's hit the deck a couple times. Great battle right now, though, Shimoda and Drake. It's so funny how the ebb and flow of these kids, like you'll go to Freestone and this is the guy, and then you come back to Mammoth and then this is the guy. But when it really counts, when it really matters, look at Seth Hamaker. He hasn't done the winning Shimoda or Pierce
Monster
Brown
Cup.
has done.
Got Monster Cup, though.
He did get Monster
Cup.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. That was kind of his
and that would
his
directly
breakthrough.
translate into a win at Loretta's, would you think?
No, you
no,
never know.
not at all.
Yeah, Supercross track. Yep.
No, not at all. It's
Right.
crazy.
So this is interesting to watch now. Marchbanks at the back of this group, marching his way forward. He has gotten Brown and Merritt. Merritt, remember, won our first moto of this day in 450B Limited, now running 6th in 250B. So let's see how far forward Marchbanks can go as we watch this battle. Drake, what do you say, 700 tear-offs it's going to take for Drake? He's been behind Shimoda the whole way.
Same with Carter Halpern. He's getting everybody's roost there. And just coming into view, you'll see the Kawasaki, you're right, of Marchbanks. He has finally picked it up. He was in 13th and passed like 4 guys in a lap or 2. That's what we expected out of Garrett Marchbanks.
Oh,
a little
Halpern.
smoke coming out of Halpern.
Let's see how long that bike can hold on with Marchbanks rolling up on him.
He's actually sponsored by a vape company, so that's part of the process.
Oh, vaping.
It's got that oak, that heavy, rich oak smell. It's delicious when he rides by you. Take a breath of it.
It's
That's
cannabis.
marketing at its finest. No, it's not cannabis. What are you talking about?
No, Bliss.
Oh, it's Bliss.
Yeah,
Oh, you said it was.
I thought he said that too.
Yeah, Bliss. Bliss.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you would think that at all. It sounds nothing like it.
All right, here
Let me
comes.
get my dictionary.
Check out the Kawasaki rider of Garrett Marchbanks. He is the fastest rider on the track. He is caught up to that Yamaha there of Carter Halpern. And watch the
Look at this battle. Woo!
4 riders. On the Honda, Shimoda in second. And then the KTM ride 33 is Drake. Then you have Halpern and then the Kawasaki ride. So all the manufacturers getting equal love here. How about that?
Yep.
It's a commercial.
And one cow heat long gone out front, Seth Hamaker. Now Marchbanks trying to go to work on Halpern. Going to work the outside
He's
line.
got it. Just like that around the outside. The big Thor sweeper. 2 men enter.
Marchbanks leaves. One more pass. He's up to 4th now.
Wow, that's a championship ride right there. Ryan Holiday has the potential to get the top 2 guys on this thing on green bikes. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's not out of the question for Marchbanks to get both Drake and Shimoda, who are right there. Shimoda on that AMSOIL factory connection Honda. Drake, the Orange Brigade KTM, the Team Green machine of Marchbanks. Yamaha Blue Crew of Halpern. Halpern's not giving up. He's trying to find some lines against Marchbanks.
Oh, there's plenty of lines out there. Holy cow, at the ruts as we hit lap number 6. The 250B class, these guys are getting after it. Hamaker out front, whole shot, and he is gone. Oh, Blake Ashley got the whole shot, but Hamaker made the pass pretty quickly. 14 seconds out front, Jason. Here
All right,
we
now
go.
it's really tightening up into the 10 Commandments. Shimoda, Drake, Marchbanks. Marchbanks going to run the outside line.
A double and triple and blow right past Derek Drake here, and he's going immediately after Shimoda.
Made that one look easy. Well, a lot of talk about Marchbanks. A couple of years ago, it was both he and Austin Forkner. The folks from Kawasaki, Bruce Sternstrom, over there said that his #1 priority before even going after Eli Tomac on the pro side was to lock up Forkner and Marchbanks for the future. But Kawasaki,
There it is. That's the word you were looking for. Can of bliss.
I cannot believe, Rodney,
There's
that
a
that's the
word.
first time you ever looked that up. I mean, that's your wheelhouse all the way,
there's the
bro.
pass.
Marchbanks,
In 1 lap goes from 4th to 2nd.
unbelievable. Marching to the front is Marchbanks, originally out of Utah. Does a lot of the training down in the southeast, like most of the riders out here these days. Certainly helps learning these rutted, soft conditions. Well, a 14-second gap. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with Hamaker, the leader.
Wow.
But what a charge.
13th or 14th now, all the way to the number 2 spot. Really started picking up those passes, so it took him a minute to get up to pace, so good for him. So Seth Hamaker, 7 laps in, 14 seconds out front now of Garrett Marchbanks, his teammate. Joe Shimoda not wanting to go quietly, but I don't think he's got much choice. I think we're going to have to focus on the battle now for the number 3 spot with Shimoda on the Honda, Derek Drake Double D on the number 33 KTM over the Tunnel of Love. And the pace is just about identical for Shimoda
I
and Derek
cannot
Drake.
believe how long this battle has waged as
won't let
intently
up.
as it has. There's no doubt. I mean, of course, Garrett Marchbanks is working his way up through the pack. An amazing ride for him, coming, what was it, 19th on that first lap?
Yes.
Crazy, all the way up to second. He's about 15 seconds behind Seth Hammaker. But again, Seth Hammaker's another one that's kind of leaving your mouth open today, and you kind of drop saying, wow, didn't really expect that, but at the same time, I did not expect it. So that's what I like about the 250B class.
Derek Drake goes down. Whoa, the bike's hung wide open. Hang on. That was a bucking Bronco there, man. It's pouring out coolant. And Carter Halpane will slip past him. So that's a bummer there for Derek Drake. Looking at a podium finish. That bike better stay together.
You know, unfortunately for these riders, the results at the end of it doesn't necessarily show the heart and determination that is put in these battles on the racetrack. You know, that number that comes after does not reflect exactly what happened. Wow, yeah. I mean, he's been that far out ahead, and all the action's been taking place behind him. So there is Seth Hammaker. That is the rider that got the whole shot, and that's about the last time we saw him. We saw him a couple of times after that, but here he is finally on the final laps.
Yeah, Blake Ashley on the Yamaha credited with the whole shot, but Hammaker made quick work of him, and Seth Hammaker, oh, that track is brutal. Like, it looks different than in years past. They got a ton of sand, which is normal, but typically it rains. Then we got to scoop all that stuff off to the side. Then we're down to that thick black dirt. So now we're getting some loamy, crazy, good, rough, almost Florida-like sandy conditions.
Oftentimes we see them putting water in the week prior to the event. They didn't have to do so much of that this year because of the rain showers and stuff that we were afforded naturally there. But what happened there on Thursday, they actually opened up a lot of this ground and allowed some of that moisture to go deeper. So I think that's why we're seeing what we're seeing.
Davey said it was really plowed as deep as they can remember. The sand is just, it's setting in pretty good. Hammaker now, it's all about race management, man. Keep it up on two wheels.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Your leader, Seth Hammaker, you're taking a look at him right now, the number 51, going under the Red Bull arch. And that's every lap, every turn. It's not that, oh, he's having a bad corner. That's every turn. It's that tricky and technical.
Well, you talked about how smooth the short chutes were over there earlier in this moto. I want you to take note of how much more defined of a race face that particular section of the racetrack has now than it did at the early part of the moto.
No doubt.
Man, it's amazing how much this track has changed in the last 10, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, the guys from OTC are out here getting the track all dialed in and smoothed it all out. And now it is not smooth out. Like they're not going to really work it a ton. They'll smooth out the first turn, some jump faces here and there when they get a little treacherous, but they want it to be rough. They'll go in and take a look at the track before the 50s. They usually do a good job of taking care of the racetrack, making it smooth for those guys, but they leave it rough, man. This is what you train for. You don't train for 78 degrees, though. Holy cow, the weather here, it's overcast. It was in the 60s this morning.
Wow, I mean, how much of an advantage or disadvantage does that hold? I mean, so many people that had been training for the heat.
I think the guys that are training for it want it.
Yeah.
I still think this racetrack's taking a lot out of these guys. That is a super tough racetrack. And look at that. Look where these kids just wound up. Derek Drake and Pierce Brown both crashed 38 times, and they find themselves on the racetrack together with each other.
Wow, they're running the 5th and 6th place positions right now as we, I believe, are seeing this one wane down. We got just a little time left to go for Seth Hammaker, a 13.3 second lead. He's slowed down to almost a 2:02 lap time now, and still got more than 10 seconds over the rest of the field as we roll toward the checkers.
Yeah, the white flag is out. One more to go for Seth Hammaker. Man, what a ride there. Ryan Holiday, he's going to be pumped. The Team Green Kawasaki rider having a fantastic ride.
Well, I mean, you got to think he's got to be super pumped. I mean, not only does he have Seth up there doing what he did, but man, seeing what Garrett Marchbanks did through that moto is impressive in and of itself.
And it's all, you got to put the whole thing together. You got to get a start, you got to finish, you got to stay up. And Hammaker did all three of those. Marchbanks didn't get the start, but he was able to pick off riders. So you cannot tell me this track's one line. That dude passed almost 20 guys.
And there's a prime example of those gate choices you were talking about a little while ago, being that, you know, it's done according to drawing of the spoon, this first moto. We'll probably see the start off of this second moto for the 250B class be a little bit different. And that, at the same time, should yield another exciting moto and maybe even more excitement.
Yeah, as the championship picture kind of comes together, you'll have guys like Nathan Ramsey who finished 10th. He's going to be a spoiler now going into that plus 40 class. He's going to go take points away from guys because of the crash that he had. So Nathan can play that part earlier in the day.
Heading
that
into
plus
the
40 class was fun to watch.
Heading into the final lap, our top 20 breaking down like this. Seth Hemmicker, Marchbank, Shimoda, Hal Payne, and Brown, your top 5. Derek Drake in 6th, Zane Merritt in 7th, Marco Canella in 8th, Lance Kobush all the way up to 9th. That was a pretty good ride for him as well. 10th place, Devin Simonson. Now 11th through 20, Levi Newby, the 28 and 11th, Justin Rodbell, 12th place position. Carson Brown, the 91, 13th place position. There's some names we didn't expect to see that far back. Blake Ashley, 14th place position for the 95. Brett Harlan, the 21, is 15th. Gabe Gutierrez, the 49. He was all the way back down near 30-something whenever I first saw him. Got Phelps, McClellan, Heil, Salvatore Cusimano rounding out the top 20. And checkers out for your Moto 1 winner in the 250B class, Seth Hamaker. Making early work there on the first lap as he got around our early hole shot.
Did you see Marchbanks coming across the finish line? He's smashing himself in the head. Like, come on, man. He was not happy with his second place finish, although that was a fantastic ride. Up in the shot there in the tower, that's where we're at. We're in that beautiful little announce deck. You can see Greg Geisler, the richest team in motocross, with his family up here. He paid $10,000 a spot up here to have his family able to have access up here. It's all about money.
It is.
Anything you want can happen.
You give
Throw a
me
Rolex, Carrie Joe, or Rita's
Will
way.
you be quiet about the $10,000? That was a deal between me and you.
That's you and him. Gotcha.
Yeah.
As the rest of the game comes through, Hamaker, Marchbanks, and Shimoda, they will round out your podium as Jason Wygant gets ready to cruise down and have a word with a guaranteed happy Seth Hamaker. And Carter Halpay will finish up 4th. Brown and Drake finish 5th, 6th. Merritt, Canella, Kobush, and Simonson. That's your top 10 250B. Welcome to the live coverage from Loretta Lynn's. It's going to be a fantastic. Stay with us all day, man. It's going to be a good one.
It is. It most certainly is.
And we will toss it down to Jason Wygant, who's, I'm sure, trying to get through all the high fives that Seth Hamaker has going his way before he rolls that bike up onto the podium.
Oh, it's pretty emotional down here. They are pumped on this ride for the 51, who continues to make a name for himself. Kind of had a breakthrough there at Monster Energy Cup back last October, but getting it done here on the motocross track this time. And in a stacked class, maybe the steepest and hill to climb to win a title in this division, 250B, which is absolutely stacked. He comes out and grabs the win, pretty much led the whole way, making a name for himself. Let's hear it for Seth Hamaker. I'll tell you what, man, you've really turned it on the last couple of months. How'd this one feel?
This one feels probably the most important to me ever. Been working my butt off for this, and to go out and do that was just unbelievable.
Who's helping you out? Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Monster Energy Team, Green Kawasaki, my mom and dad. Dunlop for getting me off to great starts, Fly Racing, Bell Helmets, 100% Goggles, Alpine Star, N-Style AP Designs, everybody over at Renthal, Matrix, and just, I can't believe it.
All right, he's done it. He's conquered the first moto of 250B against some of the best intermediate riders in the business, Seth Hamaker. All right, this could be the week, making a name for himself. We've seen it happen in the B class many times. The riders stepped up to that next level. It could happen here, but to do it, he's going to have to take down some big names. I'll bring up our second place finisher, who's one of those guys. Let's bring Garrett Marchbanks on up. Here he comes. And Joe Shimoda did a great job also finishing up in 3rd on the Honda. And we call him the man-child, and he had to manhandle this field to make his way up from a bad start. We'll bring you around front. Let's hear it for Garrett Marchbanks. You had your work cut out for you in that one. It was a tough run.
Yeah, it was. I got a little excited on the start and jumped a little bit. By the time I pulled back, the gate dropped, and I knew I had to make my way up through the pack, and I just caught the second, saw Seth up there a while, but he was riding good, and I just kind of pushed the whole time.
Awesome, man. Who do you want to thank, Garrett?
I'd like to thank the Lord for keeping me safe. Monster Energy, Kawasaki, Pro Circuit, Dunlop, Fox, Scott, Maxima, my mom and dad, my trainer Cody, the SOB, everyone I forgot. Thank you so very much.
All right, second place, certainly in title contention, Garrett Marchbanks. And we'll bring up Joe Shimoda looking for our 3rd place finisher. There he is. and also a hole shot for him. And this is the next rider in line for the very potent AMSOIL Factory Connection Honda team. Has had a lot of great amateur riders through the years. Congratulate him on a bronze medal and the hole shot award, Joe Shimoda. Tough class here, Joe. How did that race go for you?
You know, I got a good start, like whole shot, and I kind of got stuck in the mud on the inside, but you know, track is super gnarly, but I finished third, so it was good.
Absolutely. Who do you want to thank, Joe?
I want to thank my mechanic Cam and Ricky, AMSOIL Factory Connection, Honda, Jeff Moshak watching here. Thank you very much, and I don't know, 60, 100%, Alias, RXR, Alpine Stars, Asterix, thank you so much.
All right, Joe Shimoda, third place in 250B.